in macro photography. You're finding the right animal, it's sitting on the right kind of vegetation, you're getting the focus, the sharpness in the right place. Then the next step is to make it more artistic.
Yes.
Yeah.
My target now is doing photos with flash and have a soft light, beautiful background, not any grass or things that are looking not good, like sharp grass.
Yeah, exactly. So do you know what diaphragm you're using here? Yeah.
Like 8, sometimes 13, and sometimes on big flies 5.6.
Yeah. So that gives the f8 and 11. They're the two sharpest in every kind of lens.
Yes.
So they have the best sharpness, and you have some depth of field. The problem is that you also get more of the background sharp. But ideally, at least for me, I want to see, photography is the art of taking away. Yeah, to isolate, to make it graphically simple.
The next.
So it's a question of taking away as much as possible and making the background nice and soft. And frequently that means, like here, for example, that kind of a background is soft. But right now there's just a diagonal here. It's a bit, technical, this photo. I like when the background is soft and natural color. This is a bit dark. That's the problem, either with sunlight and shadow, or with a strong flash. Then you have the same problem. Too hard light on the subject and then too dark behind. So softer light is really important. And I also do macro photography a little bit. That's not my specialty, but I do a little bit, and then I use open diaphragm, biggest, most light coming in, so you get a very, very small focusing area, and everything behind and in front is just disappears, or gets very soft. But then of course you don't have this fine detail sharpness everywhere. So that's the trade-off, I would say, the balance that you need to find. For example, here, this is not very clean.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff here. The eyes go to these light spots. So what you really want is a flower and an insect, and that's it.
This photo with flash and with lens Rainax 250, because this fly is very, very small, like
but you still
5
managed.
millimeters.
Amazing, yeah. Well, the flash, what you want also is a flash that you can hold loose, not one that sits on the camera, but you should be able to take it off, either with a cord or a wireless. It depends on the camera, how advanced the camera is. But I don't know. Probably your camera can do it wireless.
I think yes, because the flash have top flash Canon 580, and it is possible to connect camera and flash, not put camera flash on camera.
Yeah, because then you could move the flash very close to the animal, and you can have two flashes. One gives the main light, and the other one softens up. But then it's complicated. Then you need something, because you have only two hands. And I usually wish I had 4 hands, because they would have been very practical, but it doesn't come. Then the question is also how to crop the picture. I think this one is if you put the motif in the middle, it's very static. If you put it out in the corners, it becomes dynamic.
Like doing not
Yeah,
so
so
much.
if you cut it here and a little bit under, that will be more interesting. So But this is a big step forward from this one. This is a big step in the right direction.
This year, last year.
Yes, I can see that. You're doing good progress. Yeah, this is also interesting. I think, I'd say, pictures that show the insects in a biological way, zoological, entomological way, all those are already taken. You know, that has already been done hundreds of times by old-time photographers. Lots of flash, lots of technique, big depth of field, very technical pictures. For me, very boring. What I like is creative, you know, when you play with focus and unsharpness, and I think this is more in that direction. Now you're going from another angle.
Because he's interesting, looking like a point over there.
Yeah.
His center and his legs, his wings.
And you know, if you go even closer, you could go that close and just have a head.
Yes.
And nothing else, and just completely green, soft green behind. But with insects you can often choose because they sit somewhere, and then you could arrange it.
Arrange it.
Yeah, you know, it's not like birds that you have to invite or that you have. No, insects, they, especially in the morning, if it's been a cold night,
Yeah, they're sitting.
they're sitting and they don't move, they just sit. And they have sometimes drops of water, very beautiful. So that's the right, early morning is the right time of day. Because also then the color temperature of the light is much nicer. It's more orange, more orange-red. I like the development,
Soft colors.
again, the development from this straight from the side to this coming from underneath and in front is another step to me. It's better. Yeah. Yeah, and when I do post-processing, you know, the calibrating of the pictures after having taken them, then I work a lot on cropping it. So here I would crop it, for example, because talking about composition, a diagonal is a very, very powerful composition tool. Yeah. And if the diagonal is from left to up right, in our cultures, we read from left to right. So this is a positive. If it goes like that, it means negative. The stock market is going down, or the quality of life is going down, and statistics and going up. This is good. And we don't think about it, but we know it's psychology. And again, if a diagonal, if it starts in the corner, it's better. So I would cut this here. Then it starts from the corner. Or you could even cut it here and cut it up there. So it still starts in the corner, but you have the animal more. Then it looks like it's. We could crop it. You see, it will immediately look like it's more speed. It's more dynamic picture. So I work a lot on the crop. Again, that's me, yeah. Because some photographers say, I never touch anything in the frame. Jose doesn't touch the raw file. Other photographers say, no, the frame is holy, and if I take it, it's done. It's a perfect piece of art. Well, I'm not that perfect. I take a lot of pictures that I have to work a little bit with after, and you can also, sometimes you're sitting at the computer and you realize, there was one thing I didn't think about when I took the picture, but I can fix it now. You know, if there's a straw coming here, well, you could cut it so you don't see the straw. You could eliminate it. Because, as I said, taking picture, the whole photography is less is more. It's about getting rid of, getting away. Few graphic elements is easier. It makes a stronger image. Remember, we were at this one. And here the lines are not that disturbing. the previous one with the white flower, there were lines all across. But this one has a few lines and they're all going in reasonably similar directions. So that's nice. I think this one is quite a bit disturbing, so I like to try to get that out. But again, it helps if you crop it here and then you have...
Maybe to delete it by any Photoshop brushes.
You can also do it in Photoshop. Then it's a question of, how do you say, to me it's an ethical question, because to me, in my pictures, I don't take away or I don't add anything. Not without making it very clear to whoever wants to use it that something has been done. Because to me, as soon as you do anything with a picture, it is not a documentary anymore. It could still be very good, it still could be a piece of art or a very powerful communication tool. But, for example, you cannot enter it into many photo competitions. The National Geographic will never want to have it, because they don't want any problems with people cheating one way or the other. So when I do those things, I always make two files. First one, the original, no change. And then if I make any changes, which is quite rare, because it's also difficult to make it sometimes, it looks nice. But if I do any change, I write that in the file name. So then I write digitally clean or manipulated if it's a lot of work done. Because some pictures, they are so much better if you do a little bit of that work, but then they are not anymore documentary. So, and I have no problem. I could do documentary pictures, I could do art pictures, but I just need to remember myself which one is which, and also so the customer doesn't get unhappy. If I send one picture to National Geographic and they realize that it was manipulated, then the door is closed, for me for the rest of my life. They don't want to have anything to do with it. So that's a professional risk I don't want to take. Apart from, I don't want to be a liar, so I prefer to be as straight as possible. This is nice, I think. You have a nice graphic shape here. There's a good focus in the whole area. I think the wings are a bit dark still.
Yes, it was
a little bit too dark.
Because I had more light photo.
I understand, yeah.
The printing dark colors more dark.
And it's also nice with the unicolored background. With a more open f-stop, it will be more soft.
It was far from butterfly because it flowers and it's going to me. Butterfly was sitting on the
perfect.
end, and all flowers were far from.
That's good. But if you take f2.8 or f4.5, it will be more blurry, and that's even better, I think. Like this shape, for example, would like to be without. But the problem is when you do 2.8, then maybe it's sharp here, but not here.
Yes.
And then I would, in Photoshop, I would lighten it in the shadow tools. Mm-hmm. You can lighten up the dark a little bit, 1 or 2%. Then you will have more
lighter.
Yeah. And then if you use the saturation tool, then that needs to be used very carefully.
Yes.
I see you're not using the saturation very much.
I use not in Photoshop but in Lightroom vibrance. That not doing very saturation colors to not real colors. It's doing all colors more saturation, but not hard.
Not hard, yeah. Because that if you use the saturation tool in Photoshop, then I use it more 2-3% only, and never more than 10, because then it turns over and you can't print it. It can look nice or spectacular, but it's impossible to print. Here again, I think it's nice. It is not centered; it's a bit off-center, and you can even make it a bit more off-center, because then it creates a diagonal, so to say, a dynamic with a thing here and the rest.
Like rule all for 1/3.
Yeah.
Three parts.
The recommendation, not the rule.
Yes.
Yeah. It just you feel it when you move around that now it's in harmony, now it's a nice balance. If you have a big open area, that could be balanced by a certain object, and at a certain proportion you find, at least for me or for you, it's right. And then if you're lucky, everybody else likes it. Yeah, this is a nice sharpness of this mantis, but I find it a bit boring when it's just black background. Is this sunlight or flash? It looks like
it
flash.
Was very dark. It was not flash. It was very dark. He was sitting, his head down, like.
Like this.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's a palm tree. Yeah, because this one you would like. This thing could be a background, or some other green would be background, lighter. But this looks more like the classic. The old style. This is an insect. This is the species.
Not like art.
Not art, just documentary, museum documentary way. And I think most people enjoy it more when it becomes, you move it towards the art. But again, if you could do an identification guide of insects, then you want to have it so you can see, is it 2 or 3 here or just 2? And this one. Yeah, this is also nice. This is very disturbing. You see that?
Yes.
Take like this. It's like when you step on something sharp and you don't get it out, and then suddenly you get it out.
That's very good.
So this is exactly that. And I would go much closer again. Maybe even here. You want to make it
Or do it like a square.
a square, but I think what you want to isolate is the insect, the flower, and everything else is superficial or it's extra. So I can see one big round shape and one colorful dot. When it comes to how we humans see things, we like round shapes. Yeah, because as soon as we see a person, where do you look? Look into the eyes.
Yes.
There's a round shape. And so one round shape and even 2 round shapes, it's a very, very strong human, basic human. So two eyes, one eye is fine, but 2 round objects is fantastic. It will absolutely go there. And if you're a man, you also look at other round objects and you also like it. So round objects are very attractive to people. And then the colors, different colors attract us different much. Red is the strongest attraction. So now you have a round form and it's red. So it's a maximum attention grabbing. Second is orange, third is yellow. And at the far away end is green. Green, brown, gray, they don't make us very upset. But blood is red, so we are completely fixed on red. And fire is orange, and fire has always been important to people. So these are old things that means that if you're doing a landscape shot and you're having some people in it, if they have some green camouflage or beige or khaki colors, it's really boring. But if they have an orange or a red jacket, wow, it's immediately a focus attention point. You could have a beautiful landscape and you have these 2 people in orange and red jackets. Mountain climbing gear, and it's very attractive immediately. So for example, I have 1 red and 1 orange jacket for my assistants. So when they are models in the landscape or when they're doing things, they could immediately have the right color. Anyway. Yeah, so this one I would try to get closer to the subject already in camera. I would be very careful with that one to try to take it out already before I take the shot. But then you don't know if the bee is coming to the same again or not. But to me, there's too much here. This blob, the eye goes.
Attention to
The eye goes here and then it goes over there, and you forgot this. But if you have the attention here, then there's no question. And it's the same with this. The eye goes there and here. So now it does not.
Если возможно, давайте мы сменим человека, потому что очень много на одного, потому что есть еще желающие. Хорошо?
Anyway, so this one also has these big white dots in the background. They move attention down here, but you want attention here. I think here the shape of this thing with the insect, that's the main subject. And then everything up here is, to me, overflow. This dot takes attention, and these light areas, I will try to crop them. This one is nothing to do now because it's in the picture. I would like to come a little bit closer to the animal.
Thank you very
I think
much.
thank you.
May I ask you to write for me one photo that you like?
Shall I write something or what?
Maybe you write for me any, like your autograph.
My autograph on your picture?
Yes, any you like.
No, I will not do that. I cannot sign somebody else's picture, even if I like the picture. But that's a principle.
Okay.
Because otherwise it looks like I take the picture. So I can't. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank
Nice
you.
to meet you.